Hello everyone, Brett the Comic Novice here, and if you're like me and enjoy picking up and reading DC Comics, you are probably just over the moon, as am I, to be done with the first of three events in 2023. First and foremost, the Lazarus Planet event. Now, I decided early on, because I picked up every single tie-in, every single one-shot that had to do with Dark Knight's death metal. I picked up a majority of the Future State. And one thing that I found out in my novice comic collecting is that you don't need every single thing to make it make sense. In fact, oftentimes, some of these extra one-shots just bog things down. And so I just decided I wanted nothing to do with it. So I just decided only to pick up the Alpha and the Omega, which I'm going to just sit down and read once the Omega comes out this week on New Comic Book Day on February 22nd, I do believe. That being said, I think that there's some good things that are going to come out. I'm very hopeful of what's going to happen in the DCU. I think that there's certain things that I'm skeptical of and probably just going to pass. It is okay to sit out on a couple of things because it's either doesn't speak to me or is not for me. And there's all sorts of things I can spend my time and money doing. I don't have to, hate everything just because it exists. So, I mean, as I picked up this, this John Stewart comic that I didn't even finish because it just was not good. I tried to stick through this entire Jeff Thorne run, and I just got bogged down with it. And the one shot that came out, maybe I just need to sit and read the entirety from first to last issue, but I feel as though I'm at a loss for that. But that's besides the point. I did see this page at the very end of this book, and this goes through, all of the one shots minus the Alpha and the Omega issue. And as I just broke it down, and as the DC kind of came out with certain things, again, I'm all for this Lazarus Planet Alpha 1 and the Omega 1. I will be doing a video. I will be reading those ones, but the ones I've just passed out on are every single thing else. You have the Assault on Krypton, where you have four creators, four of which I've never even heard of before. Actually, I've watched Supergirl, so I do know that one of them is the Dreamer, but I'm not interested at all in the character. The Lazarus Planets, we once were gods, has Tim Seeley, which I am familiar with, Joshua Williamson, Dennis Culver, who did the Future State Gotham, which I did pick up, but I haven't read a single one of them. And then everybody else, I don't know who they are. And so it's like, well, why should I, give this a go? They're going to be introducing a lot of brand new characters. If I wanted to get a first appearance, I guess this is my chance to get lots of first appearances. But if they're just going to give me first appearances just for first appearance sake, I don't need to, get any more or go further with anything else. Lazarus Planets, we were once gods. Oh, that's the second one. The Next Evolution, I was kind of intrigued by a couple of these, and in Dark Fate, maybe kind of, sort of. But again, I feel as though it's the same creators just trying to get some brand new material, maybe giving some people some first time shots at DC, which is perfectly fine. But I'm just hard passing. I hope that they're good. What I plan on doing actually is finding some, YouTube and podcasts and listen to people who are legit fans, not everybody who hates everything, not everybody that likes everything, because I think that there needs to be a happy medium with reviewing and, within the YouTube world. And so that's why I tried to do this too, because I'd like to maybe, figure out, are things bad just for the sake of it, or are they bad because it's just bad? But yeah, just because of how I got burned earlier, I was just, hard pass on all these one shots because it's not worth my time. I think that there's, again, a lot of things to be hopeful for. We had the Action Comics 1051, which had two good stories and a Power Girl story that I wish I could rip out of my book. a Doom Patrol story, which I'm not sure I'm entirely, I read a couple of issues of the Future State Gotham, which focused on Joshua Williamson and Culver as the writer, and then Culver took over as the main writer after Joshua Williamson left. And so a lot of people are extremely excited for this, but if you pieced out of that, like, should you go back and check those out just because, he is or was the writer at hand? I mean, we have a Green Lantern book, which I'm very excited for. I'm glad it's not going to be two different books. And I'm also glad to hear that and see it's probably not going to be a 6-issue miniseries, because I'm kind of almost out on Green Arrow. Not because, I don't believe in Josh Williamson, because I do. I think he's a very good writer. I've enjoyed his Flash. And, for better or for worse, the mini Crisis, which was actually Dark Crisis, but kind of like diet when it compares to Dark Knight's Death Metal, it could have been better. But at the same time, the reason why I want to almost piece out of it is it's a 6-issue mini, but could, depending on sales, be more like have more faith in the book being well. One of the things I've heard from the Poison Ivy thing is, it was a 6-issue mini, then they decided to extend it, and people that have the fans that I listened to podcasts to really kind of liked it up until the 6-issue part, and then it kind of has been bogged down because it probably wasn't intended on being an ongoing. So then G. Wilson had to kind of, dream up of something else. So I guess I'm kind of worried about that for the Green Arrow. I am glad to see that Shazam has a ongoing storyline, as well as I'm kind of intrigued by the Brave and the Bold. I'm glad that we no longer are going to be having any more Batman Urban Legends, because those were just a slog to get through after like the first 6 or so. So, and then we have this checklist, which we kind of knew about going in before. And then the only new things that we kind of have is the Cyborg one, which, I got the first Cyborg kind of issue with my DC Universe Infinite app, which I haven't read, but I have access to. And then, they haven't really talked about Penguin and Steelworks, but regardless, I think there's a lot of things to be hopeful for. Again, with the Green Lantern, we have Philip Kennedy Johnson, as well as Jeremy Adams, who is doing a fantastic job on The Flash. I've not read a single issue of the 1 Minute War. I have every single issue, and I'm just going to read it all at once because I want to live it all in one moment, or less than 1 minute, I guess you could say. Then again, this is coming out of, besides the DC Power book where the Cyborg book came out of, you have this Spirit World, which I don't know anything about. It's coming from a creator that Alyssa Wong, that I've only heard bad things about. I want to give it the benefit of the doubt, but at the same time, it's also bringing a character from the Lazarus Planet thing that I'm not interested in. So I guess, to me, when I give this a chance, it won't be at the comic book shop for $3.99. It's going to be on the DC Infinite Universe app. And then, of course, you have the Vigil, which does feature the writing of Ram V, which I am for. I really enjoyed his Swamp Thing, even though I kind of got lost at times regarding that because I don't know all of the origin and history of Swamp Thing. City Boy, which I don't know anything about, but I've heard lots of great things about Greg Pak, as well as, not only his Planet Hulk, but some people have highlighted that probably being his run on the Action Comics during New 52 is probably like the better part of some of the New 52 storytelling. I think there's a lot of things to be excited about. I think that, you can scream and say that things are awful and everything is garbage or whatever. But I feel as though if all of those were just 6-issue miniseries. If you're going to say that everything is bad because they're 6-issue miniseries, they're not ongoing. They are just going to be 6 issues and probably done. Kind of like the things that spun out of Dark Knight's Metal. All of those things that, died. Silencer, you had Sideways, which I started reading sideways. Really cool character. I really wish it kind of would have gone a little bit further. I have not picked up the Terrifics, but I've heard, this is DC's version of the Fantastic Four. So, I mean, I should probably give that a try. I don't know. What are your thoughts about this whole thing, Dawn of the DCU? Am I being too optimistic? If I'm not being optimistic enough, I'd love to hear from you. There's only one thing that I'm 100% completely out on, and that is the Superboy, the Adventures of John Kent. I think, I'm not a big Clayton Henry fan. And again, I noped out after issue 12 of the Tom Taylor, and it just, I almost want to kind of nope out of Nightwing too for that reason, just because I hate that. I don't like these backup things. Let me just buy the comic that I want to buy, and if you're going to give me a backup, you better give it to me for free. I mean, why am I paying an extra $1 for something that I don't want? Anyway, that's my thoughts. What are your thoughts? I'd love to hear from you. Again, comment down below, like, subscribe, whatever. I'd appreciate it. And until next time, I will see you in the dollar section.